it's visible.
Okay. So we have started with the counter, and we have seen synchronous, asynchronous counter, and synchronous counter. Uh, so asynchronous counter, the output of the first flip flop will be acting as a clock to the second flip flop, whereas in synchronous counter, the clock is given separately to each of the flip flop, right? And when we talk about clock, we have seen what are the types of pulses, that is positive edge trigger, negative edge trigger, right? And so we will be covering design of an asynchronous counter, and we will be also seeing design of a synchronous counter. And we have also seen ring counter and Johnson counter, that is twisted tail counter. We have already seen this, right? So, so counter, as we have already discussed, it is divided into the two categories, that is asynchronous counter and synchronous counter, and it can be edge trigger or level triggered. So, given a pulse, this is called as positive edge, and this is called as negative edge, and this is called as level, right? So this is the level triggering. So these are the you can say edge trigger and level triggered. We have already seen these kinds of things. And synchronous counter and asynchronous counter, all flip flops are not clocked simultaneously, as can be seen in this figure. Easier to design. What was the drawback that we have covered in our last lecture, that it is having the low speed, because the output will this flip flop are made up of the logic gates, and it will have some amount of delay, right, which is called as propagation delay. And so it is quite slow, you can see. And synchronous counter, all flip flops are clocked simultaneously. You can see this is the clock, and in all the flip flop, the clock is provided at the same instant. And so since it is cloud operation, and so it is much faster as compared to the asynchronous flip flop or asynchronous counter. And total propagation delay is equal to the propagation delay of the first flip flop. What does it mean? That suppose if you give a clock to all the flip flops together, and so propagation delay will be same as the first, or you can also consider second, or you can also consider third, right? So what does it mean? The propagation delay of one of the flip flop will be the propagation delay of all of the flip flop. Why? Because the clock is given at the same instant, right? But the drawback, it is design is a little bit complex. If the number of stages increases, number of stages means so if you are having more than 3 or 4 or 5 flip flops connected in a series or in a parallel, right? So these are the drawbacks. The positive and negative edge we have already seen, so I will not cover this slide. I will be providing you the slide, do not worry about that. So how the positive edge trigger looks like, so you can see this is where the triggering is taking place. So the basic difference is in negative edge we are adding a small circle. That is how you can find out whether it is positive edge or whether it is negative edge, right? You can see positive edge means when the clock is going from 0 to 1, we say that it is positive edge triggering. When the clock is going from 1 to 0, we say that it is negative edge triggering, right? So these are all things we have covered. I just thought that I should also provide you the slides. Okay, now we will be seeing asynchronous counter, up counter and down counter. Though we have already seen what is up counter, I will be giving you a review again. So you can see this is 2-bit up counter, it is written. So these are the two flip flop, and this is a negative edge trigger, as can be seen from the clock side. Both of the input of the J1 and K1, J2 and K2 are tied together, or you can say it is 1. You can also tie it together, right? And the Q1 is acting as a clock to this second flip flop. Just see the output of the first flip flop is acting as a clock for the second flip flop. That is why we are calling it as a asynchronous counter. Okay, so you can read here as well. So Q1 acts as a clock for flip-flop number 2, and flip-flop number 2 changes its output only at the negative transition of the edge of Q1 depending upon the inputs, right? So assume that we are having a clock which is given here. So you can see that it's having a certain time period, right? It is not necessary that the clock can be of this duration. In here you can see that for 50% of time it is on, for 50% of time it is off, right? You can have a clock like this as well, where it is on for shorter duration and off for longer duration, right? So depending upon the application, depending upon the users, you can change the, you can say what we call, we define this by a duty cycle. We call this as a duty cycle. So it is not in your course, but I'm just giving you a bit of idea that it is called as duty cycle. Duty cycle means formula is on time by total time. So let us say this total time is T, and on time is, let us say, T by 2. Then here duty cycle will be T by 2 by
50%.
That means 50%, you can say, right? So various duty cycles also you can have. Okay, so let me this. Okay, so here you can see that inputs to both the flip-flops are 1. J and K is equal to 1, which is also given in the figure. Now just let us focus first on Q1, right? And from the JK flip-flop, we know that if both the inputs are 1, then the flip-flop will work as a toggle flip-flop, right? It will work in a toggle mode. And we are assuming that initially Q1 and Q2 are 0. So you can see, so since this is a negative edge trigger, so we have to consider only the negative edge, right, edges. So you can see here, so it is shown by the dotted red line as well. So initially Q1 was 0, and when the triggering takes place, since both the inputs are 1, this Q1 will change its state and it will go to 1. You can see here the transition is happening, right? Now this will remain at 1 until the next clock or until the next triggering point. So next triggering point is this. Here again, now the Q1 is having the value of 1, right? So it will again change its state and it will go to 0. Okay, and then again at this negative edge triggering, again it will change, so on and so forth. You can see, you can follow this, right? So 0 1 0 1 0 1, so on and so on, so forth. Right now this Q1 is acting as a clock to this second flip-flop, that is this flip-flop. You can see Q1 is acting as a clock to the second flip-flop. Again, it is a negative edge trigger. That means we have to see what is the negative edge of the Q1, right? So first negative edge is occurring at this point. Second negative edge is occurring at this point. Third is occurring at this point. Fourth is occurring at this point, right? You can increase as well, go on to your desired level, right? Initially Q2 output is 0, which can be seen here. So it will remain in 0 till the next triggering, right? So it is remaining 0, and at this point you can see the triggering is taking place. Since input is 1 1, you can see input to second flip-flop is 1, and the triggering is taking place. And in this case, since this is JK flip-flop, right, so the toggling of state will take place, right? So output will toggle from 0 to 1. So that is why it has become 1, right? And it will remain at 1 till the next triggering cycle. Next triggering is occurring at this point. Since this is negative edge trigger, again it will toggle from 1 to 0. So next triggering is taking at this instant. It will remain at 0 till the next, right? So on and so forth, right? Now why we are calling this as an up counter can be seen here. So this is where we are providing the pulses. So you can see after the pulses, so initially Q2 and Q1 are 0 0. You can think that Q2 is representing the MSB, and you can think that Q1 is representing as LSB, it is most significant bit and least significant bit, right? So after the first cycle here, you see Q2 is 0 and Q1 has become 1. So what is the first cycle? You can see this is our first triggering. So that is why we are calling this as a, after the first triggering, Q2 is 0, Q1 has become 1, which can be seen here as well. So this is representing the decimal number of, this is representing decimal number of 0, this is representing decimal number of 1. Next cycle, after the second cycle, which is this, you can see after the second cycle, Q2 has become 1, Q1 has become 0. So you can see here, Q2 is 1 and Q1 is 0. So this is representing decimal number 2. Next triggering is occurring at this point. So after the third triggering, you can see Q1 and Q2 both have become 1. So after the third triggering, it is 1 1. In decimal, it is equal to 3. Right? And when you go to the fourth triggering, again it has become 0. Again it has become 1. So that is why we are calling as an up counter, because it is going from 0 to 3 and again going back to 0. Right? So since it is having 4 different states, it is also called as mod 4 counter. Right? You can also refer to as mod 4 counter. Right? So this we have already seen. So if there are n flip-flop, so there will be 2 to the power n states. If there are n flip-flop, that means there will be 2 to the power n different state, right? You can see there are 4 states which are present, 4 different distinct states which are present. If there were 3 flip-flop, so there will be 8 different states. In that case, it will be called as mod 8 counter, right? And it will be called as mod 2 to the power, generalized mod 2n counter, 2 to the power n, right? Okay, so now one more thing that we have seen is when you observe the frequency of the clock, let us say the frequency of clock is f, then frequency of the output of Q1 will become f by 2. You can see, because you can see here, from here to here, this is one time period. Now for this, the time period has increased. So if the time period is increasing, that means frequency is going down, because time period is equal to 1 by frequency, right? So if the frequency of clock is f, the frequency of output of Q1 has become f by 2, and frequency of this has become f by 8. So on and so forth, it will go on decreasing. Okay, just wait a minute, I'm getting a call. Just wait for a few seconds. Okay. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is regarding the up counter. So we have seen what is asynchronous up counter. Now this is the down counter. Okay. And now the basic difference between up counter and down counter is that the in up counter, the output of Q1 was acting as a clock to second flip flop. Whereas in down counter, the output of Q bar, that is inverted of Q1, or the second output of the flip-flop will act as a clock to the second flip-flop, right? So instead of Q1, we are now Q1 bar is acting as a clock for the second flip-flop. Okay. Now what changes? It will take place after, since we are not flowing, we have changed the clock for the second flip-flop. We will just analyze. Okay. So again, this is a negative edge trigger. You can see from the diagram, right? So let us just give the pulses, right?
Sir,
Yes, please ask.
sir, why we use only negative flip-flop for the up and down counter?
You can also use positive, no issues.
Oh, okay, sir.
Right. You can design by your own, and if you face any problem, you let me know. Okay. The process is same.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So this is the pulses which is going. Again, we have marked the negative edge. You can see negative edge of the pulses have been marked. Input of JKR1, right? So initially the flip-flop is set to be 0. At the first clock cycle, it will toggle. Toggling will take place. So that is why it has become 1. So you can see here. My marker is visible on the screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you can see the toggling is taking place. So from 0 it has become 1. Again at next second cycle it has become 0. So on and so forth. Right? You can see. Now you have to plot the inverse of this, because inverse of this is acting as a clock to the second flip-flop. You can see, right? So if you plot the inverse, so it will just invert this or complement this waveform. So you can see this is the inverse part. Now here for the second flip-flop, this Q1 is acting as a clock, and that to the negative edge. So negative edge of Q1 is this, and this, so on and so forth, right? So initially Q2 was also 0. At the first clock cycle, it will change its state. So it has reached from 0 to 1. Next triggering, it has become 0 again. So you can see, so on and so forth, right? Now, so here we have built the table again. So after the pulses, it is written here. Q2 is again acting as an MSB, that is most significant bit. Q1 is acting as a LSB, that is least significant bit. Initially, it is 0, 0. So you can see initially it is 0, 0, representing the decimal number of 0. So when you give the first pulse, so you can see this is my first pulse, right? So after I have given my first pulse at this point, you can see what is the value of Q1 and what is the value of Q2. Both have become 1, 1. So you can see this is representing 0 and this is representing 3, right? After the second pulse, this is my Q1 and this is my Q2. That is 1, 0. So this is representing the decimal number of 2. After third pulse, 1, 0. So 1, 0, it is representing the decimal number of 1. After the fourth pulse, 0, 0. You can see 0, 0. That means decimal number of 0. After the fifth pulse, you can see 1, 1. It has again now it has started repeating the state again, right? So you can see the counter is a down counter. It is going from 3 to 1. 3 to 1, 0, right? Similarly, as previous case, you can also generalize it, right? So if you're having 3 flip-flop, there will be 8 different states. In this case, there are 4 different states. So you can call this as a mod 4 counter, right? So now you can design by your own mod 4 counter. Let us say mod 4 counter. You want to design mod 4 up counter. You can design. If you want to design mod 16 down counter, you can design mod 16 down counter using negative edge or positive edge trigger. Right? Down counter means the negative part of the output of the first flip-flop will be acting as a clock to the second flip-flop. Right? So you can design by your own now. And you can read here as well what has been written, so that I have already covered. Is this slide is clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we will see some of the designing aspect that we have already seen, but let us just check. So asynchronous input with asynchronous input, right? So we have already seen what are asynchronous input, that is preset and clear, and this is called as active low, preset and clear, and this is what is active high, right? Preset and clear. So when both are 0, you can see when both are 0, this state is not used, because this is active low, so this state is not used. When pre is 0, then flip-flop will set itself. That is, output of flip-flop will always be 1, irrespective of whatever the input in J and K, right? Irrespective of the input on J and K, whenever preset is 0 in active low condition, output will always be 1, irrespective of the clock, irrespective of the J and K, irrespective of everything, right? When clear is low, output of flip-flop is always 0, right? Irrespective of all the other condition. This is acting like a, you can say, switch or a master key. Whenever you want that your out flip-flop should give 1, you make preset 0. Whenever you want the flip-flop to clear or you want output state to be 0, you make clear to be 0, right? When both are 1, since this is active low, then flip-flop will operate normal in a clocked operation. Then whatever the value of J and K and whatever the clock you are providing, output will depend upon that condition when both pre and clear are 1, 1. Right? Similarly, this is for active high. When both are 1, 1, it will not be used. When pre is 1, it is flip-flop is set. When clear is 1, flip-flop is reset. When both are 0, then normal operation. You can see normal operation. Right. This we have already seen. Okay. So design a mod 6 counter using T flip-flop. Right. This is our problem statement. So mod 6 counter means it should count till 5. That is, it should have 6 different states starting from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then again back to 0. So you can see how many different states are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 different states are there. Therefore, we are calling this as a mod 6 counter, right? So you can see in binary how many digits will be required to represent 5. That is MSB. It's 3 digits. So therefore, we have used 3 digits, right? So 0, 0, 0 is first state. This is our second state. This is our third state, fourth state, fifth state, and sixth state. And we want that our flip-flop should be mod 6 counter, right? So the counter temporarily goes to 110, that is decimal number 6, but immediately it resets to 0. So you can see after 5, it has to come to 0 again, right? If it goes to 6, then it will have 7 different states. Then it will not be called as mod 6 counter, right? Mod 6 means it should only have 6 different states. Now, if our counter goes to this, that is 110, which is 7th distinct state, then it will not be called as mod 6 counter. Rather, we will call it as a mod 7 counter, right? But here, our target is to design mod 6 counter, right? So it is having 6 different states. And do not focus on this circuit right now. Just see what I'm saying, right? So this is the first state.
Sir, why you consider it as a up counter?
Why? You can consider as a down counter as well. That is a very good question. You can design for down counter as well. Okay.
Okay,
Sir, can you repeat for that 110 state?
Okay. 110. See, our counter. We want to design mod 6 counter. And what is mod 6 counter? It should have 6 different states, right? Starting from 0, 0, 0. And when you reach to 5, it has covered the 6 different states. Now you want that it should again go to 0, and state should repeat itself, right? You want the counter to go to 0. But if it goes to 110, then it will have 7 different states, right? Then it will not be called mod 6 counter. Rather, it will be called as mod 7 counter if it goes to 110, because we will be having 7 different states. Now, whenever this condition is arising, we want that our counter should immediately go to 0. Whenever this condition is arising, we want that our counter should immediately go to 0. This is the condition, right? Whenever our output of the counter is going to 110 state, we do not want this state. So what we will do, we will ask, or we will design the circuit in such a way that whenever our flip-flop tries to go at this state, right, it should go to 0, 0, 0 instantaneously, right? For a shorter duration, it will go to this state, but that will be unstable state. You can call that as state to be unstable state. And you can call these 6 states to be stable states, right? You can see here. We have seen what is unstable state when we are deriving the flip-flop, right? When Q and Q bar was temporarily 1. We have seen these kind of states, right? Then we have again process, or we have again analyzed the circuit until and unless it has reached the stable state. So I hope the difference between stable and unstable is clear to you. Right now, when our flip-flop goes to this state, right? Whenever our flip-flop goes to this state, it will come into the unstable region, and we want that flip-flop should again reset to 0, 0, 0. Because if it stays in this state, and if we consider this our flip-flop to be stable, and if it stayed at this state, then there will be seven different states. Then it will not be called as mod 6 counter. Therefore, we have to design a circuit in such a way that whenever our flip-flop output is 1, 1, 0, it will directly go to 0, 0, 0. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, in exam we will first draw that graph thing, then we will design this table, or will we just directly do this table?
Which graph?
So the clock, the QA, from that we are
This?
designing the 0, 0, 0, right?
This you are talking about?
Yes, sir. The clock, the QA, QB, and QC.
Clock means
So that up counter and down counter
this you are
graph.
talking about? This clock, no?
Yes, sir. Yes.
No, this is not required. This is
We'll
not.
directly design the table.
You give what are the stable states and what is the logic, and then we will directly see the table, right? Okay.
Okay.
So initially, you can see Q3. You can assume it to be by Q3 because there are 3 digits or 3 binary digits, and one flip-flop can store only 1 digit, as we have seen. So one flip-flop is having 1 state, or it can have a memory of 1 binary state. So since we are having 3 different states or 3 digits, so we will be needing 3 flip-flop, right? So first, this is very this is clear. Now you can assume Q3 to be MSB, Q1 to be LSB, right? Initially, all of them are 0, 0, 0, right? And this is acting as a reset, right? So you can see this is 1. Initially, all of them are 0, 0, 0. After the first clock pulse, we want this is 0. This is representing the decimal number 0. This is representing decimal number 1. Q1 has become 1. This is after the second clock. This is decimal number 2, 3, 4, 5, and just see this state. That is 6th state. This will be seen when it goes to 110 state, as we were talking about. You can see when it goes to 110 state, we want that our counter should reset itself. You can see we want our counter to reset itself. That is whenever it goes to 110, we want output to be 0, 0, 0 on again. So you can see reset is equal to 0, because we can see here we are using active low clear. It is active low clear, right? Whenever 0 is arrived at this instant, whenever this is 0, this is 0, and this is 0, whenever these are 0, that means the flip-flop has to reset itself, right? Clear. If you recall from the last slide, whenever the input to this is 0, the flip-flop will have the 0 output. This is the concept, right? So whenever it reaches 110, we want R should go to 0, and all the other cases R should stay at 1. Whenever R is 1, that is R is this. Whenever R is 1, that means clear is 1. In that case, the flip-flop will operate as a clocked operation, or it will operate under normal condition. Whenever it is 0, since this is active low, then our flip-flop has to reset itself. Now 7th state is taken as don't care. Why? Because it will never reach this state. Your counter will never reach to 111 state. Why? Because
can you explain the 6th state once more?
Okay. Starting from here or from the table?
From the table it will do.
Okay. So you can see after the 5th state, by the normal operation, the flip-flop output is coming out to be 110.
110.
Right. But what we want, we do not want this state, right?
Yes,
we want that whenever it goes to this state, it should the flip-flop or the counter should reset itself, right? And our output, it should become to 0, 0, 0. Because if it stays in this state, and if it
It
becomes
will be mod 7 counter.
it will be mod 7 counter, right? But we want to design mod 6 counter only, right? So we want that whenever our flip-flop reaches this state, it should automatically reset itself, right? So you can see the last column, which is representing the reset. So you can see this is the reset, and we know about the clear. Whenever we provide 0 to the clear, since this is active low, you can see this is active low, right? This is the clear, this is active low. Whenever clear is 0, the output of the flip-flop is 0, right? Irrespective of the input, irrespective of the clock pulse, irrespective of every other thing, whenever clear is 0, in active low condition, the output of the flip-flop will be 0. So you can see at this state, we want
then all the Q1, Q2, Q3 will become 0.
Will become 0, correct?
And so therefore R is becoming 0.
So no, we want R to be 0 because we want here to 0 to be flowing in this. Whenever this is 110, we want that our R should become 0, because we do not want to our output of this state to reach to 110 state, right? To stay in this
So
state.
because it is active low, so Q1, Q2, Q3 are becoming 0, and therefore R is becoming 0, right?
No, R is not becoming 0. R is becoming 0 because
so R is basically Q2 bar plus Q3 bar. So if Q2
do not come to this state right now, right?
Okay, sir.
Do not see this as of now. Since this is on the slide, you can see that. Do not focus on this K-map or this expression, right? Just think of a logic that we want mod 6 counter, and up to 6th different state, it is very stable. We want this. Whenever it goes, our counter tries to go at this state, that is 110. We want that it should go to 000. We want the output to again go to 000, and the cycle should again start repeating. So for that, what we want that at clear 0 should come, right? That is what we want. So that is being represented by R. We have represented by R. So at R, 000 is starting flowing whenever it reaches 110. Whenever the output of Q3, Q2, and Q1 are 110, we want R to be 0. This is representing that state. Okay, and after
so one thing, that Q1, Q2, and Q3 are becoming 0 because of active low. So how R is becoming 0? That I'm not getting.
R is not becoming 0. We are making R to be 0. We want.
We are considering R to be 0, and then we are finding the conditions for Q1, Q2, Q3, right?
Right. We want R to be 0. When we want R to be 0 at this state, whenever the output of Q2, Q3, Q2, and Q1 are this, we want R to be 0. Now, because R is 0, the output is again.
Q1 and Q2, all the Q1, Q2, Q3 are becoming 0.
Yes.
Okay, sir. Got it.
Okay.
Sir, I'm not able to understand.
Which part?
Sir, that R part.
R part. Okay. First, listen the whole slide, and then if you're not able to understand, then you let me know, because you might be confused about this K-map and this expression. Okay. Just wait. Let me explain all the things.
So initially, that NAND gate is not given, no?
No, initially NAND gate is not given. This is the design process that we will come. That when you solve this expression, okay. So when it reaches 110 state, we want R to be 0, right? And it will never reach to this state, because when it comes to 000, then counter will again start, and it will again be 001, 0010, like this and so on. It will never reach this state. So R is don't care in this state, because we do not worry, because this will never reach this state. Now we want to fill the K-map, or we want to find the expression of R. We want to find the expression for R. So what we need a K-map, because there are 3 variables. You can see Q2, Q3, Q2, Q1. So Q3 is MSB, Q2 and Q1 are lower bits. So you can see we have arranged a K-map. So you can see 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 for 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are 1. 6th state is coming 0, and 7th state is don't care. So you can see this is our 6th state, and this is our 7th state is 0, and all the other there are 1, right? So we have filled the K-map. Now what we have to do, we have to group them, right? So this will be one group, which is acting as a quad, and this is another group.
This means that the NAND gate is coming from the values of R.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay. So when you group them, so you can see this R expression will come out. From the first grouping, what will come out? From the first grouping, Q2 bar will come out. Right? From the first grouping, this is first grouping. and this is the second grouping. From second grouping, what will come out?
Q3 bar.
Q3 bar, right? Q3 bar plus Q2 bar. If you want, if you do not want to use NAND gate, you can use your gate of your choice, right? But we want to use NAND gate because this is a universal gate, right? So Q2 and Q3 bar, if you apply a De Morgan here, what you can rewrite, how you can rewrite this expression? Q3, Q2 whole bar, right? A De Morgan theorem has been applied here, right? So Q3 and Q2 you can take from this Q3 and Q2. You can see Q3 and Q2 have taken, and when you pass it through a NAND gate, it will be Q2, Q3 whole bar, which is exactly this expression. Now it is clear.
So after finding the value in the K-map, we are implementing in the circuit.
Yes. You earlier only 3 flip-flop you will design. Earlier design process will not take place. First, you have to find the logic.
We will start from the table directly.
You want to find the logic that since this is mod 6 counter, this state is unstable state and flip-flop should reset itself, and this state will never take place. Suppose if you are designing mod 4 counter, let us say that you're designing mod 4 counter, forget about mod 6. So this will be our stable states, right? And when the flip-flop reaches this state, you want reset to be 0, right? And for all the other cases, that is 5, 6, 7, this will be don't care, right? Because after the flip-flop reset itself, it will again start repeating the state. So you can design for mod 4 counter by your own as well. Is this slide is clear?
So sir, instead of using the clear in active low, we can also use preset in active high.
Preset in active high, you want output to be 0, right? If you do preset, it will be active.
Preset in active high.
No, the preset is used for setting up the flip-flop, not for clearing. For clearing, you want clear option.
Yes, sir. Yes, I got it.
Preset is used for making Q as 1. For making
preset is for setting, right?
Setting, right. For making output as 1. But we want output to be 0, so we have to use clear. Right?
Yes, sir. But preset in active high will give Q equal to 0.
How it will give preset in active high? I'm not understanding that. So preset in active high. So
yes,
you are saying we are having a preset here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Then what you want to give here? 1.
No, I am saying that as for the diagram here, it is being done that the clear is given in active low. So cannot we give that preset in active high? It will also give Q equal to 0.
If you give preset as active high, this only you are talking about, na preset.
Right. Yes,
if you
sir.
give here high, so ultimately what? Ultimately you have to give what? If preset is high, under this condition you are talking about, na? Preset is high, that means under this condition you are talking, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But you have to give clear to be 0 in order to make output to be 0. This has to be given, na?
Okay, sir. Yes, got it. Preset means to set, so and clear means to reset. So we have to use the clear here.
Yes, we have to use clear here because we want output to be again to come to 0, 0, 0, and again the state will start repeating itself. This is clear. Should we move forward? Some student was having that? Yes.
Sir, for that sixth state, just because we want to reset this circuit, that's why we are making R is equal to 0.
Right. Because we want to design a mod 6 counter. And mod 6 counter means it should have 6 different states. And counter means either it can be up counter and down counter as pointed by some student. You can either design up counter, you can also either design down counter. So for this instance, we are designing an up counter. So 6 different state means this is first state, second state, third state, fourth state, fifth state, sixth state. 6 state has already been covered. Now if flip-flop reaches this state and suppose this is a stable state, then it will not be a mod 6 counter, rather it will be a mod 7 counter, right? So we want that whenever flip-flop or counter reaches this state, we want that output to be again to be 0, 0, 0. We want that output should be 0, 0, 0 because this is then it will start repeating again. And we want that flip-flop should remain in this 6th state only. We do not want flip-flop to go to this state, right? So therefore, whenever it reaches this 110 state, we want that output to be 0, 0, 0. And how we can make output to be 0, 0, 0? If this is active low, we want that here the command 0, 0, 0 should flow, and this will only happen when R will be equal to 0. You can see because R is this. do not think about this NAND gate right now, right? Let us say arbitrary a command is there. Let us say y is there, right? We want y to be 0. Then only our output will be 0, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Clear.
Okay. We will cover more examples, then I think it will be more clear. Okay. Now, design of a synchronous counter we will see. Asynchronous counter we have already seen. So mod 6 counter is given here. You can also design mod 3 counter by your own, mod 4 counter, mod 7 counter, mod 8 counter we have already seen, right? But you can design and see by yourself. So design of a synchronous counter we will see. Excitation table of flip-flop, though we have already seen what is excitation table for different flip-flops. We will again have a view of those, right? So excitation table for SR flip-flop, you can see state table or truth table is given for SR flip-flop. S, when both are 0, it will not change its state. So you can see this is present state. In this table, this is next state. When both are 0, it will not change. Future state is equal to past state. When reset is 1, it will reset itself. Output will be 0 irrespective of the previous state. When set is 1, flip-flop will set itself irrespective of the previous output. When both are 1, this will be don't care or invalid state. Both are 0, a past state is equal to future state 1. When reset is 1, it will reset itself irrespective of the past state. When set is 1, it will set itself irrespective of the past state. When both are 1, it will be invalid. Now, excitation table we have already seen, provided that we have been provided with past state and future state, and we want to predict what can be the output, or what can be the input, sorry. So past state and future state, two variables are there. So 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, right? When both are 0, what can be the condition when both equal to 0? Just check on the slide. Both past output and future output is 0. So okay, you can see this is that state. Past output and future output is 0. This is first state, and I think this is the second state. So S is remaining 0. So therefore, we have put S is equal to 0 here, and R can be either 0 or 1. So we have put a don't care here, right? Next is 0, 1. Just check on the truth table where is 0, 1. So this is 0, and this is 1. Anywhere else?
No,
0,
1 case.
Okay, no. I have made some mistake.
Sir, R is not 1.
Oh, wait,
Sir,
I have made a mistake. Okay. Just wait. Okay. So past state is 0 and future state is 1. Past state is 0 and future state is 1 is where? So this is past state is 0, future state is 1. Past state is 0. There is only one case, right? I think there is only one case. So S is equal to 0, S is equal to 1 in this case, and R is equal to 0. So you can see S is equal to 1 and R is equal to 0. Next is past state is 1, future state is 0. Past state is 1, future state is 0. Past state is 1 is this. Future state is 0.
no,
So the
sir,
third
the
last.
next-
Third last.
Will not be the thing. Past state is 0 and future state is past state is 1 and future state is 0. I think this is the case. Past state is 1, future state is 0. Are there any other cases?
No, sir.
No. So value of S is equal to 0, which is okay, and value of R is equal to 1, which is given here. Past and future state both are 1. So you can see past and future state both are 1. Under which condition? So I think this is first condition, and this is the second condition. So R is remaining 0. So R is remaining 0. So you can see R is 0 here, and S can be either 0 or S can be either 1. So that is why we have considered a don't care here. So this is the excitation table for. This will be helpful when we design the synchronous counter, right? So therefore we have, so there is one truth table. This is called the truth table, and these are the excitation table for the flip flop. In the exam, you can design your. It is quite easy, so you can design by your own, right? There is no need to mug up these things. Everything is logic, okay? Similarly, the truth table for JK flip flop, you can see past state and future state is this value of JK. When both are 0, 0, when both are 0, it will not change. Past state is equal to future state. When K is equal to 1, flip flop will reset itself irrespective of the past state. When J is equal to 1, set itself. When both are 1, it will act as a toggle. You can see so on and so forth, right? We will not waste much time on this. Let us just check the excitation table once. Okay, when past state and future state both are 0, you can see past state and future state both are 0. I think these are the two conditions. When past state and future state both are 0, j is equal to 0 and k is equal to 0, 1. So you can see j is equal to 0, k is equal to don't care. It can be either 0 or 1. You can see by your own rest of the state. Since we have already covered, let me move forward. Is there any doubt in this slide?
No, sir.
Okay. So this is for D flip-flop, that is data flip-flop. So this is the truth state, right? Whenever D is equal to 1, output will be 1. Whenever D is equal to 1, output will be 1. Whenever D is equal to 0, output will be, that is future state will be 0.
So for designing D flip-flops, we can use either JK or SR, right?
Yes, you can use.
And for T, we have to use only JK.
Yes, just check. We have already covered. Just check on the notes, okay? Okay. So excitation table, you can see when both the states are, excitation table is directly depending on the future state. Whenever dq is equal to 0, for future state d is equal to 0, q is equal to 1, d is equal to 1, so on and so forth, right? So you can see this is also quite simple. This is for T flip-flop. This is the truth table. Again, this is the excitation table. Whenever T is equal to 1, it will toggle itself. Whenever T is equal to 0, it will not, state will not change, right? You can see whenever T is equal to 1, output is toggled. Whenever T is equal to 0, it will not change the past state, right? So you can see whenever Q is equal to, so past state and future state, these are the one. Whenever there is no change, so T will remain 0. Whenever there is no change, T will remain 0. Whenever you see there is a complement, so T is equal to 1 here, right? So there are only 4 types of flip-flop: SR, JK, T, and D. I think this is very easy. All the excitation table are shown in this slide for SR flip-flop, JK flip-flop, D flip-flop, and T flip-flop. This will be used to design our synchronous counter. Okay, designing a 3-bit up counter using JK flip-flop. Just focus on the word 3-bit. That means we have to use 3 digit. 3 digit means we have to use 3 flip-flops, right? And since this is up counter, by now you are able to know what is up counter. 3-bit up counter using JK flip-flop is already provided. Okay. So in this, you can see since this is a synchronous counter, design a synchronous 3-bit up counter using JK flip-flop. So this is the first state, that is 0, 0, 0. We want to go to 0, 0, 1, then 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1. After this, it should again reach to 0, 0, 0. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? So this is, you can also call this as a mod 8 counter because there are 8 different or 8 distinct states. So how to proceed in designing part? So you can see here, since there are 3 flip-flop, you can assume Q3 is representing the MSB, Q1 is representing the LSB, right? So this is the present state and this is the next state. Present state means you can assume this to be Q3, assume this to be Q1, and middle one to be Q2. Again, this can be Q3, this state can be Q1, and this state can be Q2. So when our counter or flip-flop is in this state, then this state will become the next state for this flip-flop. I hope you're understanding, right? If our counter is staying at this state, we want our counter to go to 1, 0, 0, 1. So that is why you can see present state is representing 0, 0, 0, and we want the next state to be 0, 0, 1. So you can see 0, 0, 1 is given here, right? Whenever our count, so this has to be there. Now when our counter reaches 1, 1, 0 state, then we want next state to be 1, 1, 0. Sorry, 0, 1, 0. So you can see 0, 0, 1, we want 0, 1, 0, so on and so forth, right? So this I think this is very clear. Present state, next state, Q3, Q2, Q1, Q3, Q2, Q1, right? Okay. Now, after you have drawn this present state and next state, focus on this excitation, right? Since there are 3 flip-flop, so there will be input to each of the 3 flip-flop. Input to each of the 3 flip-flop can be J3, K3, which is given here. This is representing MSB of that flip-flop. That is the 3rd flip-flop. This is the 2nd flip-flop, and this is the 1st flip-flop, or you can call it LSB, right? Okay. Now, how the values coming of J3 and K3? Okay. So focus on the past state. Focus on the future state. Now focus on past state of Q3 and future state of Q3. When past state is 0 and future state is 0, what can be J3 and K3? We have just seen. Just see here K map, K map, K, 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 K. When past state is 0, future state is 0, excitation table says J can have 0 and K can have don't care. You can see J can have 0, K can have don't care. Right? Similarly, for each of them, you have to analyze. Right? Next state, we will see. Now consider past state is 0, future state is 0. It will remain 0, don't care. So there is also, this is same. Now consider this case when past state is 0 and future state is 1. Now you have to again look back to the excitation table. So you have to be aware. So for that, you can draw excitation table by the side. So it will be very clear. For now, I will just move back to the slide. So past state is 0, future state is 1. Past state is 0, future state is 1. This is the condition. Past state is 0, future state is 1. Inputs are 1 and don't care. Right? So here inputs are 1 and don't care. Right? Past state is 1. Let me again take one state. Past state is 1. Future state is 1. Just check. Past state is 1. Future state is 1. Input to J can be don't care. Input to K will be 0. You can see input to J will be don't care. Input to K will be 0. Now you can fill for all of them. Similarly, you have to match for Q2 and you have to match for Q1. Then you will get these combinations. Right? I will be providing you the slide after the meeting. You can do by yourself. Okay. So once this table has been made, now you have to look for the expression of now this table. When this table has been made, you have to find the expression for J3, K3, J2, K2, J1, K1. You have to find the expression for all of them, and you have to make a K-map according to the entries to this. These are the entries. This can be the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Right? So for 0, what is the value of J? 0. But this is representing 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So 4, 5, 6, 7 is don't care. You can see 4, 5, 6, 7 is coming don't care. And 1 is there only at 3. So you can see 1 is there only at 3. This is for J3 and it has been shown here. Right? So this filling you can do. This is very easy. Now you have to map. So how you can map? Since there is only one, right? So you can map in this way. Right? And when you will map, you will get the expression for J3. Right? When you map this, you will get expression of J3, which will be Q2 multiplied by Q1. So you can see Q2 multiplied by Q1. Okay. Now we will see for K3. Now K3, you can see from 0 to 0, 1, 2, 3. From 0 to 3, it is don't care. So you can see it is don't care. And then it is having 1 at 7. So you can see it is having 1 at 7. Again, you have to map for K3. Now when you map, when you do the combination, so K3 will also come out to be Q2 and Q1. It is not necessary that J3 and K3 will have to be same, right? But for this condition, it is coming to be same. This J3 and K3 is clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now look at for J2, right? For J2, where is 1? So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 and 5 are 1. So you can see 1 and 5 are 1. 1 and 5 are 1 for J2. And you can fill the don't care as well and 0 as well by yourself. So when you fill all of those, now you have to group it. Okay. So when you will group it, it is grouping in a quad. You can say this is a quad grouping. And for this J2, the expression will be equal to, I think, Q1. So you can see J2 is equal to Q1. Similarly, you can find for K2, it is also coming Q1. Now for J1 and K1, you can see either it is don't care or it is 1. There is no 0, right? So when you make a table K-map, either it will be don't care or it will be 1. Either it will be don't care. I'm not worried about this because mapping will be done and at the last combination will be whole of them. So it will be J and K will be equal to always 1. J and K will always be 1, right? So J and K is always 1. You have find J3 expression and K3, J3, K3, J2, K2 also you have find. Okay, so here you can see this is the first flip-flop where J1 and K1 is tied to 1 because it is always 1. From this we have found out J2 and K2, right? And then J3 and K3, right? So J3 and K3 is what? J3 and K3 is, just see, J3 and K3 is Q2 into Q1. Is output of the second flip-flop multiplied by output of the first flip-flop. So J3 and K3. So you can see output of the first flip-flop, that is Q1 is coming here and Q2 is coming here. So this is coming to J3 and K3. And what was J2? J2 was output of the first flip-flop. So you can see output of the first flip-flop is this. It is flowing into J2 and K2. And output of the first flip-flop and multiplication with the second flip-flop is flowing to the J3 and K3. And this is a negative. You can provide a negative edge trigger. And this is how the whole synchronous 3-bit up counter will look like. This circuit is clear or not? Just tell me. See by yourself. So once you find the expression, it becomes fairly very easy. So here J1 and K1 is equal to 1. So this is the first. This is the third. This is flip-flop number 3.
Can you show the table?
This is MSB. Yes, and this is LSB. Just check. Is it okay?
Conference.
Which part you are seeing? Just tell me.
Yes, sir. Okay. I was just calculating the J1 and K1.
J1 and K1, it will be 1 because there is
I
no
was
0.
checking, sir.
There is no 0. Either it is 1 or don't care. So at last, you will find a K-map where it is having 1 or don't care. So you can group all of them and it will be equal to 1. Okay. Okay. So this is how. So here we will stop.
Sir, for every cases J1 and K1 should be 1.
For every cases, you can see here, right? J1 and K1 are 1 or 1 or either don't care. So when you make a K-map and when you try to find the expression for J1 and K1, it will come 1.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yes, for every case, it will be 1. Okay. Now you
Yes,
can
sir.
make for down counter as well. This is up counter. So I think this is up and down counter both. So we will be covering our next lecture. Okay. We will stop it. We will be stopping here. Good.